broadcast and start streaming. We got some levels.
Oh, and everyone dances. Oh, there's your beautiful face.
It's good to be back. Back with my friends. Although they are not here in studio with me today, you just get to see me. Probably boring for most of you. Although I am the pretty one of the bunch. I'll say that. Joined today, as we are pretty much every week, by Mr. David Hastings and Mr. Joey D, both of whom are on, not in studio. I guess what I'm trying to say. Lost my train of thought there for a second. But yeah, not in studio with me. We'll have them back in studio hopefully next week. And yeah, how you guys doing?
I'm just rooting for my fantasy football team. So,
well, yeah, at this point. But how was real quick, not to get too deep into it. You have a good time down in Austin?
Oh no, that's this. I leave Saturday.
That's this weekend. I thought it was last weekend.
Yeah. No, I couldn't be there tonight because me and Amanda had a wedding venue to go look at.
Oh, nice. Where at? You think it's going to be the place? You don't know?
We're
too early to tell.
We're narrowing it down. We should have a decision made by Friday.
All right. Well, good luck. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be beautiful.
It freaking better be.
Joey, how you doing tonight?
Like Dave, let's go fantasy football teams because our teams really suck.
We're gonna start there then, and I'm gonna start it with you, Joey, because I mean after last week's big win against Houston.
Why are you starting with me?
Cause we're gonna kick this off in the worst way possible, and to me that's the Jets right now. I want to believe that anyway, even though I got I'm repping my Giants gear. I'm trying to hold out hope that we're not the worst team in New York. But I have a feeling that this is what I said to my cousin this weekend. I said, the Giants came in at 9:30 in the morning and said, let us show you how to be the worst team in the league. And then at 4:25, the Jets came in and said, hold my beer. And I feel like that's kind of how this game went because they got whooped by the Cardinals 31-6.
All of our teams got whooped.
Yeah, all our teams got whooped, but the Jets specifically coming off that win, thinking they were going to get another win, and instead now fall to 3-7. They're 1-5 on the road. They're 2-2 at home, I guess, if you want to call that something. But they're just about as bad as you can get. They don't look good. Aaron Rodgers doesn't look good, and I just got to know, are you ready for the Rodgers era to be over? Because at some point, I didn't hear what he said, but I did hear he made comments about what next year could hold and the coaching and whatever. I don't know if he plans on coming back next year. I know they still owe money for next year.
God, no.
But again, he'd have to turn down a lot of money. I don't know if he's doing that at his age. If he knows this is it, why wouldn't he just hold out for one more, collect that check, and then ride off into the sunset? He's already screwed this thing up so bad that, I don't know. At this point, is it worth just riding it out?
I would like a hard reset next season. See Devontae, see Aaron. There's no good head coach is going to come to a team with a lame quarterback and all these lame duck 1-year guys. It's not going to happen.
If the Jets, so obviously the Jets are going to have a new or a new coach. So would you allow?
So what new coach wants to come in with a 40? What new coach wants to come in with a 41-year-old?
A hand-picked one by Rodgers. Do you allow Rodgers to help make this decision? Do you allow Rodgers to be a part of that process?
No. Them beating the Houston Texans was the worst thing for this franchise because it did not allow them to go out and trade people off of this roster. The media, the fans are delusional because they still think that they could run the table and have an opportunity in the playoffs. I think they are all delusional. I think this team just needs to cut ties with Rodgers, cut ties with everything with Rodgers. Everybody needs to be gone, and it just needs a hard reset next year.
I think Rodgers should go. I mean, I don't know. I'm so sick and tired of him, hearing him talk and thinking he's the smartest person in the room. Like, bro, just stop it. Like, are you one of the, like, is he one of the better quarterbacks of all time? I guess. Yeah. But, I mean, when it's all said and done, the guy, at this point, I mean, he has one Super Bowl. He has one. That's it. He's only played 2.
That Super Bowl was 2012, wasn't it? It wasn't even anywhere like close to now.
So I mean, I just like he's one of those guys that at this point in my life, I hear him talk and you just get like he's exhausting. There's no other way for me to say it. Like he is literally exhausting, and if I never heard him talk or ever had to see his face again, I would not think twice about him ever again. So I mean, I just like he's one of those guys that at this point in my life, I hear him talk and you just get like he's exhausting. There's no other way. What just happened there?
I did something on my computer and it looped in the audio as you were talking. So
it's like, I mean, I thought I made a somewhat good point, but I don't know if it needed to be repeated.
We're giving you point of the day.
There you go. I'll take it. As long as it doesn't get me another tortilla slap, I'm good.
It does not get you another tortilla slap.
But if I'm the Jets, man, I'm getting rid of Rodgers. I mean, I'll never root for a guy to get injured, but if I'm the Jets organization, I'm almost praying he gets hurt and he's out for the rest of the year. Like, give me a top 5 draft pick. Give me a chance to swing for the fences with one of these quarterbacks or whatever. But I would be tapped out.
Here's what I want to propose though, because it's something I've been proposing about the Giants. And if you could ride out Rodgers for one more year, it'll probably be a bad year, but it would probably set you up pretty well for an Arch Manning draft. And we know how the Mannings perform in New York and on the big stage. Is that something that would interest you, Joey, to entice you to maybe want to stick with Rodgers one more year because it's probably going to be bad, and if it is, then you're probably in a pretty good position to have what could be another generational talent.
Nope, don't want Aaron Rodgers for another year. I bought into the hype and everything all last year, and then it turned it around again this year. Don't want it, bro.
So do you want Daniel Jones next year? Do you want? How would you think if the Jets brought in Daniel Jones?
Well, here's the thing.
Because he's gone. He's not coming back with the Giants.
Rodgers is going to want to win. So no matter where he goes,
Rodgers' days of winning are over. I'm gonna die on that hill. That Rodgers' days are over.
That's why I don't want him on the team next year. But in his eyes, he wants one more Super Bowl. So I don't know where the heck he would go. But yes, please, I do not want that. Give me Justin Fields next year. Give me Daniel Jones. I know Daniel Jones won't lead us to the playoffs, but he might lead us to Arch Manning. I'd rather watch somebody younger, somebody else do it. I'm tired of Aaron Rodgers' experience. Get me off the ride.
All right. Well, listen, the Giants are in a similar situation. I'm going to pivot there since there's really not much else to talk about with the Jets. They've just been putrid on offense.
They do play the Colts this week. Anthony Richardson is back. I don't know if that will help the Colts, but I really hope the Colts stick the dagger in the Jets and just give all hope.
How sad would that be, though, if the Joe Flacco-led Colts, because even if Richardson is back, I don't think they're starting him. He was bad.
Yeah, they are. They are.
They're starting him.
Yeah, they can.
Well, then if you can't beat the terrible Anthony Richardson-led Colts. That's even worse than a Joe Flacco-led Colts. I got to tell you, I think Aaron Rodgers should just walk away at that point. Like, just retire before the holidays even hit. Because what is the purpose of sticking around at that point, other than just for the money grab? That's the only thing I can think of at this point is how can you turn down, what is he making, $37.5 million a year over this year and next year? So I just don't know how he could ever turn down that money. And to me, I think you're stuck with him. And I think he's going to be in on the next coaching hire. That's just what I'm predicting for the
really
Jets because the Jets screw everything up. So this would be this is the Jet move. I'm just telling you what the Jet move is.
That would be a Jet-like thing to do.
Yeah.
Real quick, Carl in the chat said that he wishes the NFL would just redraft the entire league and start fresh for all of us because all of our teams suck and it would give us a better opportunity. But I told him back that the Jets would still screw it up, so it wouldn't matter.
Well, I could see the Jets screwing it up, though, because they just don't get anything right.
I do, too.
But again, now where I was trying to go before, but I'm putting it to my team. They're not doing.
Can't get it right.
They're not getting it right. They've been through way too many coaches in a short amount of time. It's hard, but they're going to probably have to go through another one because this team is an absolute failure. They haven't looked good in a while, and you have to go back to the move, and I don't care what people say. You could tell me I'm wrong, but I know I'm right. This stems back to them signing Jones and franchising Barkley that one year. They should have done it the other way around. This team would be better positioned, and instead we are now with the team. We're gonna have to cut him at the end of the year because he can't start anymore. He's garbage. He is the epitome of a bad quarterback in this league, and he's not getting any better. His confidence hasn't gotten better. So I just don't know how anything gets better for this team when he's starting. So I look at it as the Giants have to, after this bye week, they got to get either Drew Lock or Tommy Cutlets ready, and that's all you can do. You got to get one of them ready to go. They lose 20-17 in Germany, and again, it's an overtime, whatever. It doesn't matter when it is. You still got beat by what people consider to be the worst team in the league. The Panthers are now 3-7 and on a 2-game win streak. The Giants, 2-8 and one of the worst. If not, I think they're second right now as far as draft order goes. Putrid. I mean, just when you didn't think it could get worse, all you have to do is just be better than the Jets, and people could probably accept this season. But you can't even do that. You can't get out of your own way. You should have, which should be a clear-cut offensive rookie of the year, Malik Neighbors. You should have an offense that can at least score 20 points a week. They can't. They can't ever get over the 20. And I know the Jets struggle with this too, but the Giants, I think, are averaging a league worst, I want to say 15.4 a game or something like that.
Yeah, they are league worst.
It is awful. And when we talk about how bad the Jets have been and Aaron Rodgers has been and that offense has been, the Giants have been even worse. And this is with guys standing out like Malik Neighbors and like Tracy. The rookie running back Tracy has been a little diamond in the rough too. He's been very good. He's been above very good. He's been great. But unfortunately, even with two great offensive weapons, young kids, we can't score. Why? It has to stem back to the quarterback at that point because the offensive line has improved. Can't blame the offensive line. You can't blame the defense for keeping you out there too long either because the defense has been doing their job. They're leading the league in sacks. They're producing. They're holding teams. But you can't even score. And that is, to me, atrocious. 0 first half points. We're able to come back, in the second half. We're able to do something. But at the same time, it was too little too late. And we still lose the game in overtime. I get it, Tracy fumbled in overtime, and that's what led to that field goal by the Panthers. But I don't put that loss on Tracy. I still put it on Jones. I mean, 22 of 37 for 190 and 2 interceptions. Where are you going with that? It's garbage. And he's been this way for a while. It's not improving. Guys, tell me where I'm wrong.
I don't have to tell you where you're wrong. I just don't. I mean, I'd love to be like, oh, you're wrong because of here, but I don't have that for you.
I'm just shocked that Joey said he would want Daniel Jones next year. Because I don't know
Over
why
Rodgers,
you would want
yeah.
him. You're better off
This
drafting
year,
somebody.
look.
You're better off taking a Quinn Ewers and giving him a shot than you are a Daniel Jones.
Hey, man, there's nobody special coming out in this draft, correct? Nobody said anything about the quarterback.
There's a couple that people are looking at. So just to give you a quick overview.
Carson Beck looks nothing special. Maybe what?
No,
Cam
not
Ward
Carson
from
Beck.
Miami?
You're looking at Quinn Ewers. You're looking at Schroeder Sanders, Deion's kid out of Colorado, and you're looking at pretty much Cam Ward out of Miami. And a lot of people are projecting the Giants to maybe go after Cam Ward. I know they've been looking at all of these quarterbacks.
Let Shador play there. I wonder if Deion would let Shador get drafted by the Giants.
As we pivot here, I want to pivot to Dave's team because I'm hearing rumors that the next Dallas coach could be somebody we just mentioned, and that's Sanders, as in Deion Sanders. Because if Schroeder's going to go to the NFL, does that mean Deion gets out of the college game and decides to jump into the pro game himself? I heard the rumors. Dave, you got to tell me, are you taking Deion in as a head coach? Are you happy about that if it happens? That's the rumor mill I'm hearing.
I mean, considering what he's done everywhere he's gone, I wouldn't be mad about it. And to have them have a former player who, truly has pride in the star and has a different level of appreciation for the Cowboys, I wouldn't be mad about it. That's for sure. But I don't think he's leaving. I don't think he's leaving. Colorado.
Colorado, yeah.
The Buffaloes, yeah.
Dude, if Jerry comes calling, there's no way he's saying, no, Jerry, I gotta tell you, my heart is just with the Colorado Buffaloes. I'm sorry, I just don't see Deion saying that. I just don't. I think if it's ever presented to him, he's jumping at the chance to coach Cowboys.
Maybe. I think he's pretty happy where he is right now, and I think he'd stay at least until his son was gone. So I mean, if
his son's gone though, isn't he? His son's gone after this year. That's what I'm saying. Schroeder Sanders is one of the top QBs coming out this year.
Yeah, I mean that makes things a little bit different, but I don't think he's going anywhere if he doesn't have to.
Because people are predicting that Schroeder Sanders, or from the Giants world anyway, that the Giants are either going to look at him or look at Cam Ward. And I think those are the top two guys they have on their board right now as far as QBs for coming out of the draft. So I could definitely see Deion making the move, especially if his kid leaves and is out of college and into the pros. Why wouldn't he want to jump on the pro level? And if you could start your career as being as an NFL head coach, coaching the Cowboys, a place that he played and won titles with and won championships with, I don't know. I just think if Jerry comes calling, he ain't turning it down.
I mean, I could see it going either way, but I think it's much more likely that he would stay than go. Because I mean, Jerry, dude, honestly, Jerry's gonna have to hire somebody that's desperate for a job. I think enough coaches at this point have seen that working for Jerry, you're basically just being pigeonholed to,
So which team
whatever.
would you prefer then? If you had to pick any one of these three teams, because we know that the Jets already fired their head coach. We know McCarthy and Dable are probably on their way out. What is the best option? Where would you, if you were a head coach and these guys all came calling with contracts, which one would you pick? Who is set up best, talent-wise, everything else, for the future, in your opinion? Which job is most intriguing?
I mean, if you were trying to win right away,
No, if you're trying to build a team, if you're trying to be a real legit NFL head coach, not just trying to come in and be a one and done, like if you're trying to win and win for the future, set this team up for success, kind of similar to like a Tomlin or something, like you want to be there a while, like which team do you think you could be the most successful coaching?
I mean, I would put Dallas last just because at least the Giants and Jets will hire a GM. If you go to Dallas, you have to take Jerry as your GM.
Dion would want to be the GM.
So that to me is where Dallas would fall last. Now, when it comes down to the most important position, Dallas has the best quarterback. So I could see the debate going either way, but I still don't see how.
Well, the Jets ownership is pretty bad too, though. Woody Johnson has not been a fan favorite.
Hey,
I know you hate on the Cowboys, but I'm just saying, like, and now how much is he really going to be paying attention to the team when he goes back over the pond to become the ambassador again over there in the UK? So, I mean, I don't think they got the best ownership situation with the Jets. I think the best ownership situation is with the Giants. I just think the Giants have the least amount of talent at all three of these teams.
I don't know.
Giants do have some young talent, but I don't know if I'd say they have the best talent.
No, the Giants don't have the best talent. I think they have the best ownership.
The worst.
Oh.
I said the worst talent, but the best ownership.
I don't even know if you can say you have the best ownership, though. All three suck. The Giants and Jets. The Giants only made the playoffs, once in the last 10 years? Right?
But I'm not putting that on ownership. I'm putting that on David Gettleman and his hog molly approach. And
since Eli Manning has left, they have. It's been a disaster. The Jets and Giants both have had top picks for numerous years, and they can't get it right. They can't get it right.
2026.
What? Oh, Arch Manning 2026. No, bro, you guys are just hoping and praying that this
That's
kid
it. That's all I can live on now. My team sucks for 2-8. All I have is hopes and prayers. That's it.
Yo, all these quarterbacks suck that come out of college, man. The only ones that have been pretty decent are like Jaden Daniels.
But if you think about it, the history of quarterbacks, it's been that way for all of football. I mean, there's been no time. We actually have the best quarterbacks right now that we've probably ever had, or the most amount of talent, of course, quarterback landscape. But I mean, you think about the 20 or so quarterbacks that the Browns have drafted in the last 25 years, that every one of them has sucked. The Jaguars really haven't gotten it right, even though I think they got the best of the bunch in Trevor Lawrence.
Coaching.
It comes down to that, yeah, but some teams get it right. You look at the Green Bay Packers. They went from Bart Starr to Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love.
From Bart Starr to Brett Favre.
Pretty much.
Bart Starr didn't play from the 60s to the 90s, bro.
Pretty much. They've had very few. They've hit on a lot of their quarterbacks. They've especially the last 30 years.
They went from Favre to Rodgers. We'll see about Love.
Love seems to be the deal. He seems to be just as good as anybody else in the league.
Love is definitely solid, but we'll see, man. You're making Arch Manning to be the next big thing, and he's only going to have, maybe 20 starts in college?
It's it's the pedigree. I'm putting as much faith as I have in the pedigree.
Happen.
He grew up with 3 generations of quarterbacks out of him, 2 generations. I don't know.
To be pretty good in this league, you need starts in college. That's why Bo Nix is pretty solid. He had 60 starts. I mean, Jaden Daniels had a whole bunch of starts. Caleb did too, but he sucks. I don't know what happened with him. I guess
Caleb does suck.
One of those the Bears can't develop a quarterback, just like the Jets, just like the Giants right now.
But the Giants have in their history been able to develop some quarterbacks. They were able to develop Phil Simms. They were able to develop Eli. They were able to develop a couple. Right. The Jets have never, outside of Joe Montana, Joe Namath. Joe Namath.
I wish it was Joe Montana.
Joe Montana, or whatever. Joe Namath is the only one that the Jets have ever had. You look at other ones. I mean, even the Bills have had a couple of decent quarterbacks. Like you look at San Fran, every quarterback they touch, seems to work out for them while they have them. Even guys like Garoppolo had success. Kaepernick had success. Jeff Garcia had success. It's certain organizations just know how to get the best out of certain talent, and especially at the quarterback position. And the Giants, they have done it in the past, so I'm not going to put them in a position or in a situation where I'm bad mouthing what they've done in the past, because they haven't. They haven't had a time struggling to develop a good quarterback. The thing is, Daniel Jones was never good coming out of college. He wasn't good. Arch Manning, you can see the bones are there. He's good. He can run. He's even got more legs than Eli or Peyton ever had. He could throw. He could do it all. He's done a little bit of everything. Plus, they say he's an absolute great teammate. That he cheers on Quinn Ewers, that he tries to learn from him, tries to pick his brain, works with him. He's positive about it even when he's on the bench. It's all of those intangibles that you can't teach. He's got so many of them that, yes, I'm going to take my shot in 2026, and I'm going to be a broken record about it week after week, because that's my hopes and dreams. That's all I can live on. 2-8 Giants. I got nothing else. There's no playoff hope. They're not running off 7 straight to finish 9-8 with a chance for them. Not happening. So, and I'm not going to sit here and dream for that either. But the Bears, though, Caleb Williams just sucks, and they can't draft it. They can't develop any quarterback. And that tweet that he sent out when he got drafted to the punters saying, like, oh, just letting you know, you're not going to have to do much work this year. I mean, how about karma coming back to jam that down your throat? I mean, that was ugly.
Did I read something that had more punts than first downs or something like that?
Yeah, it's ugly. It's ugly, and he doesn't look good. And they gave him all the weapons in the world. They went out and signed Swift. They traded for Allen. They, drafted a Dunzier. They tried to surround this kid with as much talent as possible. And I knew it from when he was in college. He was not going to be a great pro, and I just don't see it. I'm sorry. I think that, we saw more of Drake May, and I think Drake May looked better than Caleb Williams did. To be honest with you,
he does right now.
He does, and they're the Patriots. Even though they're 3-7, they seem to be a tough team that are winning some games that they're against the bad teams that they should win. So I'm actually kind of happy to see Mayo having a decent first year. I mean, again, 3-7, it's as good as you can be at 3-7, but with a rookie QB and things going on. But yeah, I like what I see out of May.
After Mayo called the team soft, they've now won 2 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no one likes being called soft. It's like being called a wuss or like a sissy.
Yeah.
Like, you just like,
you're not wrong.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not insulting. Like they're hitting you with like something hard, but it's like, what did you just say?
But also, what teams need to do, like I feel bad for Caleb, is Eberflus is a lame head coach.
Yeah.
He should have been fired. They should have gotten somebody else. And therefore, hey, we're going to work with you for the next 3-4 years. Next year, he's going to have a new offensive coordinator, new head coach. He's going to be learning a new system. I think the Bears just really screwed over Caleb Williams.
I mean, I don't think that they brought a lot of weapons in. They really should have focused a lot more on solidifying that offensive line, and I do agree. I don't think the coach was the right coach for this young quarterback, but I mean, I know at least me and Erich, we've been beating the drum with Caleb Williams not being an NFL quarterback since February. So I'm not like I think he can make plays and have moments, yeah, but so can Daniel Jones, right? So can, Anthony Richardson. So can a whole bunch of other guys in the league that aren't starters. I mean, hell, Cooper Rush on Dallas, 2 years ago went 4-1. But you saw very clearly on Sunday why he's a backup quarterback and not a starter.
True.
So, I mean, so let me to kind of bring this full circle, because I know there's several other topics we want to get to. So, to bring this full circle, do you think with the rosters as they are right now, so injuries that have already happened, all of that, the rosters as they are right now, if you put the Jets, Giants, and Cowboys together to make the best roster possible, do you think you have a Super Bowl winning team?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I honestly believe that.
If you put all the talent together, but I mean, I feel like you could say that if you put almost any three teams together.
Our receiving squad would be CeeDee Lamb, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, and Malik Neighbors, bro. Who's stopping that?
Yeah, but can you make a solid starting offensive line between the three teams?
We could get a line between the three teams.
But again, I feel like if you put together three other teams, you could do the same thing. Like, you know, so I feel like it's a little bit of like a. It's like saying if Parsippany Hills and Parsippany High, you know, combined, would they be a better team? Of course they would be. You know what I mean? But it's.
But
you don't know.
I'm not even considering the cap. So we would have to consider the cap. But I think we could get enough talent. Oh, my God. The D-line, bro, would be sick with Dexter Lawrence in the middle, with Quinnen, Micah, and if you want Burns on the one side or the kid on the Jets is going nuts with sacks. He's got like 10 sacks. Will something. Dude, that would be serious. I'd love it.
I mean, you realize we'd still have Rodgers at quarterback.
Sauce, Deron Bland, and Diggs, bro.
And it's still, like Dave just pointed out, a garbage quarterback, no matter which one of them you want to pick right now.
That's very true. I'd probably go Lamb over Rodgers. I mean, Dak.
No, I'm saying
Dak's
that.
hurt. Like, you got to go with the roster as is.
Oh.
So you got Cooper Rush.
That's what I mean. Is you think it's special until you get to the quarterback position, then you realize now it's not as special anymore.
It's not. Oof.
And like, I guess running back wise, you go Tracy and
Rico Dabble, because Breece Hall hasn't been great this year.
I'd go Tracy, but that's just me. He's been the best of the bunch, in my opinion.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't even realize that Dak's hurt. So our quarterback would be Rodgers, Cooper Rush, or Daniel Jones. We wouldn't win the Super Bowl.
Real quick. But I thought that was that would be
funny.
Wrap up the misery that we just experienced talking about our teams. But
yeah, I'm telling you, next week though, week 11 is a stacked week for games. I'm just getting ahead on here. I mean, Thursday night might be the best Thursday night game of the year, and we're saying that November 14th. The Commanders 7-3 at the 7-2 Eagles for NFC.
We just saw
supremacy.
35-34 Ravens and Bengals, bro. I don't think anything's beating that.
I think Commanders Eagles could be one. I got to be honest. I think it could be that good. The Commanders have been a surprise team. Jaden Daniels has been obviously Rookie of the Year so far. I mean, he's been, as good as advertised, coming, off the Heisman and all. He's, phenomenal. So you can't say enough for what a quarterback can do when you get it right. And it's just whether or not they run him into the ground like they did at the beginning with RG3. I just, everyone wants to see a different outcome than that, hopefully. But they're going against 7-2 Eagles. The Eagles started off a little rough, have definitely leveled off and gotten better and better. Saquon is running the ball like a madman. And they both look like the two clear-cut teams in this division. Both will be playoff teams, in my opinion. And, yeah, I think this has potential to be the best Thursday night game, even better than last week's game, which I know was 35-34, close. But this game's got potential. And, I mean, Philly, give it 3.5. They're at home, though. And, to be honest, they probably are the slightly better team. But the Commanders are coming in hungry. They're coming in young and hungry, and that's a dangerous team to face. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna pick this game, and I'm gonna go with the Eagles at home. I don't know if I'd take them given the 3.5 though. I'd take them straight up, but I don't. I think I would take the Commanders getting the 3.5. And I'm looking at over under 48.5. I like the over in this game. I think both teams can score, and I think it's going to be another really, really good Thursday night game, which they're actually getting a few of these right this year. It's normally these games are throwaway games and usually two crappy teams, but they seem like they've given all those games to Europe now, and they've given us better Thursday night games.
I mean, I hope so, but yeah, I don't know The 3.5, I think it's going to be a tight game. I think it's going to be a good game.
Eagles 3-1 at home, Commanders 3-2 on the road. So I mean, both good wherever they're playing.
Yeah. What's the over/under?
48.5.
I think I would take the over.
I'd take the over. Like I said,
Yeah,
I'd
over.
take the Commanders getting 3.5. I like that.
I'm going Eagles. I'm taking the Eagles. I think it's going to be a good game too, but I think they're going to win by a touchdown.
So you take them given the 3.5?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The Eagles D has been playing so much better the last 3-4 weeks. I think they're going to give some issues to Washington, and yeah, I got the Eagles by a touchdown.
Nice.
Right. The Eagles are getting 3.5 or giving 3.5?
Giving 3.5.
They're giving 3.5.
Giving 3.5.
I think I'd take Washington getting the 3.5.
All right, you two are both taking the Commanders with the points, and I'm taking the Eagles giving the points.
Making it known, though, I would take the Eagles straight up on the money line. I think it's going to be close.
Word.
But, yeah, no. And then, I mean, it's just a lot of evenly matched games for the most part, outside of, the Packers, Bears, and the Jaguars, Lions, Vikings, Titans. But then you get to, Dolphins, Raiders, pretty even, Rams, Patriots, Browns, Saints, Colts, Jets. There's a lot of games that could go either way this week. I don't know if any of those jump out to you guys, but the next one that really jumps out to me is the Ravens. And I guess this is what is daunting about playing in that AFC North is they go from a really tough game against the Cincinnati Bengals to an even tougher one probably at Pittsburgh this week. And this is a game where, 7-3 Ravens, 7-2 Steelers. The Steelers have looked better than everybody thought they would be. I know I didn't picture them at 7-2 to start the year. But they've been really good. The switch to Russell Wilson has absolutely worked. And even though when I said they probably at 4-2 start, should have started with, 3-0 since they put him in. He's been great. And the Ravens, they just keep feeding Derrick Henry's 1,120 yards already on the year, 12 touchdowns. He has a touchdown in every single game this year. He is an absolute monster. And they're a two-headed monster because Lamar Jackson is, tremendous as well. So, this game, that Steeler defense, it's going to be another really, really tough one. Where you guys land on this? Because this could be another game of the week here. And it's at 1 o'clock, too.
I think it's crazy that the Ravens are 7-3 and they're a wild card team.
They started 0-2 though, so they're 7-1 since then. But they started 0-2.
Yeah, and then their first win was a blowout against Dallas. That's a nice reminiscent moment for me. Thanks. But honestly, I think this is going to be a really good AFC North battle. I think you're going to see. I think Pittsburgh is probably one of the best equipped teams to go up against Lamar, but they've never played Lamar with Derrick Henry. And I think Pittsburgh is good enough that they can win this game, but I don't think they win this game. I think Baltimore beats them and takes over first place in the division.
By the way, shout out to Kyle Evans in the chat saying "Go Birds 31-24 Eagles." Throwing these out.
That's a buddy of mine from work. He's a diehard Eagles fan, and I got to give him a shout out. He's going on our Super Starts trip tomorrow, and it's the beginning of the year contest, and he won it. So really happy for him.
Congrats,
diehard fan. And I actually saw him last night. He was talking to me about how they have a welcome dinner. ADP hosts this huge welcome dinner, and he's like, all I can think about is how am I going to watch the game while I'm at this corporate welcome dinner where I'm supposed to be professional and paying attention to crap. And I'm like, and he's like, I'm just going to have to stream it from my phone. I'm just going to have to keep the volume down, stream it from my phone. I'm like, oh my God, I respect this fandom. And big fan of Kyle, so I appreciate it. He told me, he's like, every time he sees my post about our show, he always hops in and gives us at least 10, 15 minutes. So appreciate you, Kyle.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you listening. And listen, your birds have my guy Saquon. I can't help but root for the guy. I'm sorry. I liked Saquon a lot.
Give him your
as
drop,
a
though. Give him the drop. You got to hit the button and give him the drop because he'll respect and appreciate us playing that.
You mean this one?
You just got.
Fuck the Eagles.
That one right there?
Fuck the Eagles.
We can hit that one all day.
All day. I could actually listen to that hour-long car ride to work, and it would be enjoyable.
By the way, that's the guy who should be starting coming out of the bye in Week 12, Drew Lock, when he signed with the Giants. So, yeah. But shout out to hopefully the new, better Giants quarterback, Drew Lock, coming out of the bye. Let's go. But yeah, to go back to this Ravens-Steelers game, Baltimore giving 3 over under 47.5. I like the under in this game. I know it went over last week with the Bengals, but I kind of like the under this week. I think that Steelers defense a little bit better. They run the ball better, so I think they're going to control the clock a little bit. I like the under. Baltimore given 3. This is another one where I could see that being a push. I like Baltimore in this game, but I don't know if they necessarily win by 3. I think it could be really close again, come down to a field goal. So I don't know if I would take Baltimore given the 3, but I would take the Ravens for sure on the money line, and I would take the under on this one of 47.5. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I would definitely go under. Just that AFC North, the way they, especially these two AFC North teams and the way they battle with each other, I would take the under. And what was the spread again? I'm sorry.
47.5 is what I'm looking at.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely taking the under.
Joey, what you think?
I'm thinking opposite of you guys. I like the Steelers a lot. I think normally it would be a typical AFC North showdown, but the Baltimore Ravens defense is just atrocious this year. Their pass defense is the worst in the NFL. I'm going to go with the over, and I'm going to take the Steelers to win. I think Russell Wilson hit his deep ball to George Pickens is fantastic. That's what they've been missing in Pittsburgh the last few years since Big Ben's been gone. And yeah, man, I'm riding the Steelers train.
All right. Next game I'm looking at, another one. I mean, this is what I mean is this week there's some really good games. 425 is where I'm going next. Chiefs at the Bills. Bills just can't get over the hump in the playoffs of beating the Chiefs. But they usually seem to find a way to do it, if I'm not mistaken, in the regular season. So Bills at home. Chiefs got to go to, Buffalo. This is one where I could see the Chiefs getting their first loss here. I really could. I think it's going to mean a little bit more to the Bills, to be honest. I don't think the Chiefs are going for a perfect record. I don't think that's what they care about. Their goal is a three-peat. That's what their team goal is. They're definitely going to get a loss somewhere along the way, and I think that loss comes this week at Buffalo. Buffalo only given 2. So again, they predict this to be a close one, and on neutral field, probably Chiefs favored by a little bit. Over under 45.5. But again, this is another one where I like the under. I think both teams are going to play hard, tough-nosed football. And to be honest, I like Buffalo at home in this situation. They're 8-2 right now, so they're not too shabby themselves. 4-0 at home. Although obviously with the Chiefs at 9-0, they're 4-0 on the road. But I just like Buffalo better in the regular season against the Chiefs. In the playoffs, I'll probably go the opposite way. But regular season-wise, at home, I'm going to go with the Bills here. I would even take them laying the 2. But I would take the under of the 45.5. What do you guys think?
I actually agree with you across the board. I
Joey?
take the under. I take the Bills given 2, and but I do think the Bills come out. Yeah, I think the Bills come out on top.
And just like last time, I think opposite.
Hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with that.
The Chiefs,
we like a varying
Chiefs are getting
opinion
healthy.
here.
I think Pacheco comes back this week.
No,
Not this week. I think he's practicing though, right?
They opened up his 21-day.
Okay. Okay.
And
I'm still going to take the Chiefs to win. They are very good situationally. They play really good situational football. The defense has been really carrying them once again this year. And the offense seems to be going now that D-Hop's there. So, yeah, give me the Chiefs. And I'll take the under as well.
All right. And then, I mean, there's the Sunday night game here, which, to me, I don't know if you guys find as interesting as I do. But, you got the Bengals 4-6 coming off that close loss last week, which could have gone either way. Playing a 6-3 Chargers team, who I believe are punching a little bit above their weight class right now. I actually really like the Bengals here. The Chargers are giving 1.5. I love the Bengals here, whether it's getting 1.5 or on the money line. And over under 47.5. I like the over in this game. I think both teams can score. I don't look at either defense as tremendous. So I think they're going to put up some points. And with that said, I like the Bengals, whether it's money line or getting, and I like the over in this one. What do you guys think? Joey, I guess we'll start with you on this one.
I'm opposite of you again, Eric.
Hey, listen, that's what makes the world go around. You could be opposite. It's cool.
I know. I think the Bengals are getting 1.5, right?
Yes, they're getting 1.5. So the Chargers are giving 1.5.
I still like the Chargers. I think they're going to slow the game down. The defense is better than what Cincy's seen the last few weeks. I know you got that unstoppable combination of Burrow and Chase, but I think that combo gets slowed down this week. The Chargers play defense. They run the ball. They like possession. They like to kill the clock. I could see this. I could see them slowing the game down, and I'll take them. I'll take the Chargers to win. And what was the over under?
47.5.
I'll take the under.
All right, Dave. What do you think?
Did we lose Dave?
His audio may have cut out. So,
I bet I had to talk to Amanda for a second, so I muted.
No, you're good. That's more important.
I would take the under, but I'm going to take Cincy because I think Cincy can still be a playoff team, and if they want to be, they have to win this game.
All right, so you want the same as me. So it seems like Joey has been the opposite on all on these picks so far.
I think all of them so far.
But those were really the games that stuck out to me as like the best games of the week. I don't know if there's any other games sticking out to you guys you'd want to go over, but I mean, I think it's absolutely
Niners, Seahawks.
I'm going to tell you right now, Joey, it is absolutely absurd. I don't care if Anthony Richardson's starting or not. The Jets are giving 4 to the Colts. Come on, stop it.
Anthony Richardson is just a turnover machine, bro.
But they're still at least they're 4-6 at least coming into this game. You guys are 3-7, and haven't looked good. Put up 6 points last week against the Cardinals. And I understand Richardson isn't that good, but I mean, how do they expect to score?
We'll see, man. We'll see.
All right.
We'll find out.
I couldn't fathom picking the Jets giving 4 though. I'll just say that. Do you think they're going to be? Do you think they cover the spread in that game?
I'm negative Joey, so no. They're going to get their ass kicked.
Negative Joey didn't work last week though. You might want to go back to positive Joey.
I'm hoping it works. Hoping it works this week. So I'm not rooting for the Jets until they're at least 500.
All right. And hey, any chance, I'm just going to bring this up. We don't got to talk about the game because the game's going to suck. But with Derek Carr coming back, Saints look like a better team. Even with some of the injuries they have, they surprised Atlanta last week. Do you think, not that they're going to make the playoffs, but do you think the Saints are going to be spoilers for anybody? Because I'm looking at them late in the year. They play the Commanders, they play the Packers, they play the Bucks. and the Rams coming up. So, I mean, between now and the end of the year, they have some teams that they could be in the mix to upset, their playoff chances. What do you guys think about that? Any thoughts on the Saints looking better and being that team that can upset somebody?
The Bucks.
Go ahead.
The Bucks are the only team I can see him ruin playoff chances for.
I can see the Bucks and the Rams.
Yeah, not the Packers. I mean, because if the Packers lose this week, they would be
I don't see them
6-4
losing to the Bears.
If they did, though,
Caleb
they'd be
Williams
6-4.
is playing so bad. I can't see that.
All right, that's all I have for you guys there. So, I mean, we can transition a little bit here to. Guess we'll go here next. First of all, I guess we're going to start this on a little bit of a downer note, but I just read the news before about Popovich and Greg Popovich, head coach of the San Antonio Spurs, had a stroke on November 2nd. I didn't know about this. Did you guys know about this? And I got to be honest, Pops isn't necessarily a young guy anymore. He's going to go down as one of the greatest of all time anyway. Should he come back? Or should he just call it a career? Because, I mean, it's a pretty damn good career, even if he calls it right now.
Hall of Fame career, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? Gold medal coach in the Olympics, multiple NBA Finals appearances, multiple NBA Finals championships.
Winningest head coach in NBA history with 1,390 victories. That says something.
And, I mean, do I think that he needs to keep coaching? Definitely. Do I think he wants to keep coaching? Most likely. But should he? I don't know. I think he's definitely excited to have, Wemby.
Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama.
Whatever. Anyway, I think he's pretty excited to have him, and I think he wants to be there to help coach him up and help him develop and grow as a talent. And I do think that he has more in him, but I don't think that he has anything left to prove. So, with that being the case, in my opinion, he probably should retire and enjoy his family. And, I'm sure, I don't know if he has kids or grandkids or, hell, at this point, he might have great grandkids. I don't know. But
he's 75, the oldest head coach in NBA history. Previous to him, Hubie Brown was the oldest at 71. So he's by far surpassed what Hubie Brown did. And he's the winningest coach, the oldest coach. He's got 5 titles. He's done everything you could do as a head coach. I get you want to come back, but to me, at some point, you've got to almost go the route of a Belichick or a Saban or something. You got to know when the time is to go. And again, I think Belichick held on a couple of years too long. I don't think Saban held on a couple of years too long. I think he left at probably right about the right time. But these are guys also in their 70s who are considered, GOATs. Like, you got to know when. And I think Popovich. What?
Belichick's looking to coach next year. He
might coach with either the Giants or with Dallas. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in either situation, to be honest with you.
But no, I'm with you guys, man. Pop's done everything that you could ever imagine that you could want to do as a coach. NBA championships, I believe he's got gold medals from Coaching Team USA. So, yeah, man, I'm with you guys. And Pop, you should just, I don't want to say just hang it up because you don't have anything to offer, but at 75, doing what you did with your health concerns, I think it's time to just hang out with the family, man.
All right.
Yeah. I would completely agree with that.
Well, going from Pops to something that doesn't make me sad, but almost makes me like not angry, but like what the hell? And I'm gonna move us over to. I can't believe that what's supposed to be one of the better teams in the East, one of the better teams in the NBA as far as trying to get to a title, And the process, and now apparently the process is to sit out on back-to-backs and not play.
That's been the process.
That's been the process. But unfortunately, that process has led them nowhere. And that process has not got them any titles. And now they're sitting tonight after getting beat last night by the Knicks, pretty handily too. They're now sitting at 2-8 on the year. And guess what? Embiid decides that he's going to take some injury management. Him and Paul George aren't playing tonight. And to me, it's absurd that who's supposed to be one of the best in the league, look at Embiid, he shot for 2 for 11 last night, finished with 13 points and 3 boards. Like, he looked silly next to what Karl Anthony Towns was doing. I don't know if you guys saw Cat last night, but he had a couple sweet plays. But definitely looked like the better center in the East for sure. And I just don't know how this team could ever be successful, ever get on the same page if you can't build a rhythm with your team. The one that, like, you can't get in sync in a moment's notice. I don't care what sport you're playing. You're seeing it in the NFL with guys who are sitting out in training camp and sitting out in preseason and then getting to the week 1 and they look like shit. And they look like shit for the first few weeks until they get their sync, you know? You can't just step into a lineup. It doesn't matter if you're playing basketball. It doesn't matter if you're playing hockey. It doesn't matter if you're playing football, baseball, whatever it is. You need to build camaraderie and continuity with your team, and you can't do that by riding the pine and choosing to ride the pine. I get it that it's if he had an injury, but this is injury management. This is making sure he doesn't get an injury. So what, he's supposed to play 50 games a year? You know, this to me is absurd. And I'm sorry, but they are soft. They are the Philadelphia 76ers are the definition of a soft team, in my opinion. They're going against a 12-0 Cavs tonight, who I think are going to spank them, especially without Embiid and without Paul George. So I just don't get it. If you put big money into these guys, they went out and got Paul George in the offseason, and you're sitting out, choosing to sit out. That's the one thing that I love about Tibbs is those guys play. And he has a short bench, and they play all the time. You know, and I'm okay with that because at least these guys want to be out there playing. You don't see the injury, management as much with the Knicks. Maybe some people fault the Knicks for that and say, like, oh, maybe they should have because last year you look at what happened in the playoffs. But to me, this isn't going to make the Sixers any better for the playoffs. To me, this only hurts what they're trying to do in the playoffs, and I just don't get it. So I'm going to kick it over to you guys because I'm at a loss for words, even though I just said a lot of words, but I don't get it. I want to bang my head against the wall and slam both their heads together. Like, I can't fathom this approach working, but you guys talk some sense into me. Will this approach ever work for Philly?
I don't think this approach works for anybody. Play the damn games. Injuries happen. But whether you play 82 or you play, 40, if you're going to get injured, you're going to get injured. It's the whole load management thing is ridiculous to me. I don't know who came up with the idea. I don't know who created it, but
the Spurs.
I hate it.
Kawhi Leonard and the Spurs.
I don't know if it was Kawhi, but I specifically remember Pop one night sitting Duncan, Ginobili, Parker, because every single year they go deep into the playoffs. And I remember, I'm pretty positive it was the Spurs that started this.
It might have been.
Ago.
It might have been, but that was in the midst of their 5 championships when they were winning. And Embiid hasn't won shit.
But I'm with Dave 100%. Like, why do these guys think they're special enough to sit out back-to-backs and whatnot? Like, Embiid, this was your first game yesterday, and you're already sitting out today? Like, exactly what you said, Erich. You got to get into rhythm with your teammates. These guys barely practice anymore now that the season starts, I just don't get it. Maybe they think that, hey, the season's so long that they'll be able to pick it up eventually with George and Embiid, but I think that's silly. I think they're going to play themselves into being an 8 seed or a 7 seed, and then they're going to get out in the first round by a Boston or maybe the Knicks, because the Knicks are damn good this year, or Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with everything you just said there, Joey. And to be honest with you, like it's one of those things where I just don't know if this Philly team, as constructed under Joel Embiid, is ever going to win a title. Because unless he changes his mindset,
I think they need to trade him.
Yeah, they got to do something with him. And he's never going to get traded to New York at this point because New York hates him. But
no, they don't need. New York doesn't need him. But
and he's dirty.
They need to trade Joel Embiid. He only plays 40, 50, 55 games a year. And he's always broken down by the end of the year. Trade him, get your first-round picks, and start. You're not starting over because you still have Tyrese Maxey and you still have Paul George. So you guys would be able to go out and get somebody else.
What do you guys think of the court they played on yesterday? Because I got to be honest, I'm not a fan of that blue. And apparently this is something they're doing for this NBA Cup thing they're doing.
Yeah,
and they're going to be playing
it last year too.
Yeah, it is ugly.
Ugh.
Yeah, they did that last year. That's how you know if the game counts towards the regular season.
It's ugly.
Bad.
It's bad. It's
it's
like watching Boise State play football.
Some of them are okay, but the one last night, ugh.
Yeah, there are some that I actually do think look pretty cool, but there are a lot of them that are pretty freaking ugly. I completely agree.
Hey, Eric, real quick. Philly's up on Cleveland, up by 5 in the second quarter.
It's not gonna. We all know it's not gonna last long, so that's okay. Not gonna last long. But speaking of things that are cool, though, and something that I saw today that I thought was pretty cool because it's the first time that they're doing it. So I mean, I had thrown it out to you guys. I don't have the EA Sports music. But if I did, I would have played it. But the fact that EA Sports NHL 2025 has a new addition this year, and that's adding the Professional Women's Hockey League to it. Now, I think there's only 6 teams or so in the league right now. That I think the league started last year. But the fact that they're making this addition, I think it's a good way to push the women's game forward. I think it's something that the NBA, I don't know if they're, Dave, maybe you could, or Joe, you could speak to this. Do you know if they do that with the NBA and NBA, 2K25 or whatever?
The last few years, right? I think this past year they did it. And now definitely, the WNBA is definitely in 2025. I know that.
They've been doing it for the last 5 years.
Okay. See, I think it's actually smart that the Women's Hockey League got in. You said this is their first year?
This is, I believe, the league's second year.
Second year?
The second year the league's been around, yeah.
Well, it's so smart to get involved with it just because, you're going to have more eyes on it now. I mean, maybe there's little girls playing the NHL who wish that they had, someone to look at, some type of women's league, and boom, there it is now. I think this helps, and it definitely helps the league because they're going to get some of that revenue. And I think the WNBA should have jumped on this the minute they formed a league. They should have jumped in, talked with the NBA about getting a 2K sponsorship and getting more revenue generated for them. So this was a smart move, I think, for their league.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, Joey. I think it's absolutely smart. It's smart for the game to do it. It's smart for the league to get involved with it so early. And you're absolutely right. WNBA should got involved with it many years ago, not just 5 years ago when because the WNBA has been around for what, 30 almost now years, close to 30, 28,
25.
Yeah.
Next year is their 30th season.
Okay,
there you go.
So there you go.
Because the Liberty won was one of the first teams of the WNBA, and they
got the Lobo
title, and they've been around for 29 years. So this will be the 30th. This coming WNBA season will be their 30-year anniversary.
Speaking of WNBA, real quick, a side note, because nobody talks more WNBA than we do, but I don't know if you guys saw Caitlin Clark was in a Pro-Am golf tournament and teed off, and I think hit the crowd with one. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Why would they have the crowd there for a Pro-Am?
Because they still sell some tickets for it, whatever. So it's where they tee off, they had people up and down the sides. But normally pros drive it and do well. She apparently shanked one like we would, and You know,
Hopefully she didn't hurt nobody.
No, I don't think so. Nobody got hurt seriously, but it was just more a little bit funny.
There's a
That's
crowd around her, that's for sure.
Well, listen,
sure
I mean,
if
you hear she's in the pro-am, regardless of if it's her sport or not, you're going to go check it out.
Yo, she's a star.
Yeah, absolutely.
WNBA is so lucky to have her.
Absolutely. They struck gold with her, and with, to be honest, the rivalry she kind of has with Angel Reese too, because it's something that's going to grow. I know it's something that died off at the end of the year with her injury, but it's gonna. I guarantee you, it's not the last we've heard of it.
On my Instagram feed, man, there's this video. This guy just keeps ripping on Angel Reese, and he just keeps showing her misses and misses and misses. She's not as good as we think, apparently.
Shout out to Brink, by the way, who was in the running early for possible, I believe, Rookie of the Year candidates.
Cameron Brink, right?
Yeah, Cameron Brink. She is in the new Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition, I believe. So I believe that came.
She'll be back She'll be back. I think she had a torn ACL this year.
Yeah. Now, see, what I hope is eventually we begin to talk about professional women's hockey as much as we talk about the WNBA. We get to know some of these women, because I got to be honest, bringing us back to the NHL 2025, I got to be honest, I don't know any professional women's hockey players off the top of my head, and that's my fault probably for not paying attention enough to the league. Still new, though. Boston, Montreal, New York, Ottawa, Toronto are the only teams in the league right now. So, I mean, it's a pretty small league. They're looking to expand. I'm sure they will. But in the meantime, we just don't know many of their names. But I'm hoping by putting them in this game, and by, us just, now knowing more of it, maybe we start to hear some names and begin to follow and see some great hockey. Because I know we've talked about it a bunch, and I know at least Dave and I agree. I don't know how you feel, Joey, but playoff hockey is one of the best playoffs of any out there.
Agreed. They might be the best playoffs out there.
Right? It is. It's crazy to say, but it just might be. It just might be.
I completely agree.
And with that, I mean, I think that's about going to wrap us for the week. Oh, the only other thing I want to mention NHL-wise, just while we're talking NHL, history set. The Winnipeg Jets start the season 15-1. No team in NHL history has started that well ever. So they set some NHL history, and they are playing awesome hockey. So a shout out to the Winnipeg Jets and their unbelievable start. Nobody even really close to them right now. They're at 30 points. The next closest team is 24 with the Devils. And the Devils have actually played 3 more games than the Jets. So the Jets have only played 16 games so far. The Jets have played, the Devils played 19. So, they're what they're on pace to do is remarkable. And I mean, this is after what the Bruins did a couple years ago, setting the point record and whatnot. So we'll see if the Jets can hold on. And that's kind of the only question, the last question I'm going to bring up to you guys. Do you think the Winnipeg Jets, not the New York Jets, the Winnipeg Jets, can they hold on to this momentum, and can they be the polar opposite of the New York Jets and be the juggernaut and go on to win this thing? Do you think they could stay this hot all year, or do you think this is them getting hot early and then kind of like the Yankees got hot early last year and then cooled off and kind of leveled out around 500 the rest of the year? Or do you think Winnipeg rides this streak all year long?
They'll cool down. Also, you don't want to be the President's Cup trophy winner, because that team hasn't won a Stanley Cup in how long?
Wow.
So I think that's motivation to maybe take the foot off the gas for a little bit, maybe around the All-Star break, and then, turn it back on after the All-Star break, so you're riding high going into the playoffs.
If I'm going to be open and honest, I have no freaking clue, because I couldn't even name one person on the Winnipeg Jets. So I'm going to say they're going to continue this streak, because I've been opposite of you guys all night, and they're going to beat the Bruins points record, and they were close to winning a cup last year. Hell, They're going to the Cup this year. That's my prediction. They're going to the Cup. They losing to Jersey in the finals, but they going to the Cup.
Yeah.
All right. Well, those are some bold predictions. I don't know if the Devils are going to the Cup. Maybe. I wouldn't be opposed to it.
They're my favorite team, so I'm not going to say 20 games in that they're not going to the Cup.
All right. Well, as always, fellas, it's been an absolute pleasure. And
we done already?
yeah, I think so. I mean, unless you guys got something else you want to throw out, but while you're thinking of something, I'm going to tell everybody out there, if you've rocked with us this long or if you listen to any part of the show, like, subscribe, follow, share, do all those free fun things for us. Help us get to 30 subscribers. We're at 26 right now. Let's shoot for that next milestone. Let's hit 30. But yeah, and yeah, till next time. I mean, unless you guys got something else, and hit you guys one more time. You got anything else you want to throw at me?
I'm hearing rumors Gruden could be the next Jet coach. What do you guys think of Gruden coming back to the NFL real quick?
Makes me want to vomit. Like he effed up the Raiders situation. Isn't he still getting paid by the Raiders? Like, no, I'm out on.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm out on.
Okay,
I'm out on.
You're out, Dave. Real quick, Gruden back to the NFL. And I think we lost Dave.
He might be.
I'm done with John Gruden.
He's done with Gruden.
Okay.
We're tired. You can't keep recycling that. I mean, Gruden's heyday was 15 years ago, 20 years ago at this point. You know what I mean? Like,
that's how I feel.
I think we're good on Gruden. He's good in his TV role. Stick with your TV stuff and leave the coaching to other people at this point.
Yeah, I'm good with Gruden. He can ride off into the sunset with Aaron Rodgers, and I'll be good.
There you go. All right, cool. I'm with you guys.
All right. Well, then, Joey, where can the people find you till next week?
Oh, I'm on that Instagram. You can find me at Joey.47. Dot standing for die on this hill. Mother suckers.
Boom. What about you, good sir, Mr. David Hastings? Where can they find you?
I love the enthusiasm, Joey. So it's David 23 on X, also known as Twitter. Got it.
All right. And you can find me.
Hope everyone's dancing.
I'll dance for you, Joey. I'll dance for you. But yeah, until next time, you can find me at The Living Legend on X/Twitter or at Die on This Hill on YouTube or anywhere you get podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Google. Yeah. And until next week, don't be afraid to have an opinion and die on this hill with us.
We got a thumbs up.
Do all the things.
Do all those things. So we're still live on the YouTubes, but we're about to stop streaming there.
Dubious, tubious. Peace out, YouTube. We love you.
We do. We love you all. Anybody who shows us love, we love you.